Morning all. How are we all doing? All good? Morning Stevie, morning Fabio, morning Cal. Cal, Forex machinist. Morning from the USA. US of A. How's everybody doing this morning? All good? Just having a quick look at Euro New Zealand. I just got out of that Euro New Zealand this morning. Which was just posted in the Telegram group. I just took that one off there. We just had a big spike on M5 and then it's collapsed back down again. We've got news coming up in a minute, so probably pre-news related manipulation. Taking out some liquidity, although they didn't quite get to that high. Actually, with the spread, because it's a New Zealand dollar pair, with the spread they did. But anyway, so yeah, just banked that this morning, 0.42%, and it's coming down again pretty quick. So I was going to decide whether or not to leave the EA on it today, depending on what it did this morning, but that decision's been made for me now because I'm back in again, so I'm in it again. I still like it short, but that's a hell of a drop. We're very extended, so we might get a pullback off of that. On the hourly, we're very extended. It's due a pullback, but we'll see. Morning, Neo. Almost midnight in the US. Yeah, it will be. Morning, Shout. Morning, Diamond. Morning, Lada. Morning, Jeff. Morning, Timber. So, quick recap yesterday. Start the morning off. Closed out. What did I do yesterday? 1.3 yesterday, which was where are we? 22nd. Mixed bag yesterday. Whoops. Hold on. Pound US dollar. Closed that one out. What did I do with that? Why did I close that out? Oh yeah. So basically, the pound US dollar. I got out of all the pound US dollar the day before. The EA, I left the EA on. It got into a trade, which I didn't want it to, because I didn't want to take any more. I just don't want to take any more pound US dollar when it's this extended. We are at support on the 4-hour. Or we were rather yesterday, massively extended down there, so I don't want to be shorting it down here. I was waiting for a pullback, so the EA got me into a short, so I closed it out. So that's the reason for that trade. It's just an accidental trade yesterday. So actually closed profit was the DAX, a couple of those. Oh, that's a buy stop, just one DAX trade, which is the one from there. And that got me flat on the DAX. So I'm out of the DAX now completely. Should have held it, as you can see. It has continued to the downside. But again, very extended. We hit ADR yesterday, so I got out, took the profit on it. Euro New Zealand, that one there is the one I took yesterday. So when we got up to those highs, got a reversal on the lower time frame, got in, got out. And then got out of that one this morning, still coming down. And oil, took one off of oil last night, late, yeah. So I took this one quite late last night. I put it in the Telegram group, but just before market close, basically, we were just hitting these highs. That's my TP on that one up there. But I didn't want to run the risk of a gap fill this morning. And basically, this will just go into drawdown. Monthly range on the pound CAD's just been hit. I still like this target, and I still like it long. Asia, nothing, just gone sideways. So this move yesterday on oil was weird, very weird. It seems to be a talking head from OPEC caused it, but we didn't get the news come out on financial juice So it was collapsing, and there was literally no news about why it was collapsing. It hit ADR. This was 100% ADR, so I took it at 100 ADR. We got down to about 110, 115, and then we put in a V-shaped recovery on it. So I took that profit off of that one. But I've still got my other positions on it, and there's a couple up there as well. But yeah, bizarre. There's no reason oil should be weakening at the moment at all. Demand is high, supply is constricted, stocks are down. It's all good for oil prices. There's nothing wrong. So it was a bit of a weird, I was like, why? After all the news we had last week, we should be pumping on oil, which we started to do last week, and then all of a sudden this happens. If they'd have reached for liquidity, I'd have thought, yeah, well, it's just a manipulation liquidity run, but they didn't even get there. It just hit there and then it reversed, which was just weird, but these things happen. The power of the talking head. So that was yesterday. So 20% month again, second 20% month on a row in the summer months. This is not normal. I do not normally do 20% in the summer months. I normally struggle to get 10% in the summer months. Just milking it. Moment, but hey, can't complain. News overnight. We got news coming up, so we'll cover news quickly now. News overnight. This was the only interesting bit of news I caught yesterday. Canada are planning to potentially export liquid natural gas to Europe. So obviously with the pipeline issues we've got with Ukraine and Russia, the world is looking for alternative sources, and as an interim, Canada will potentially, well, they're looking into obviously costs and the logistics of getting their gas into Europe, which will obviously mean it's more expensive for Europe to buy it because it's a more expensive route to go, but equally it will bolster Canadian dollar because they will make a lot more money out of their excess gas supplies they sit on, which will bolster the CAD. So good news for the CAD, potentially, if it happens. Yeah, you know, it's not necessarily going to happen, but yeah, be interesting to see if that happens. If they announce that, we'll see a big pump on the CAD. So should be good for CAD. Apart from that, wasn't a lot of other news. I don't even know what that is. No idea. Apparently it's important, RRR cuts. Don't even know who it's for. There's a bit of news coming out of Japan overnight, but nothing exciting. COVID is taking grip badly again in Japan. Again, more evidence for weakening yen. So yeah, but nothing news-wise there. This morning we've got 8:15. In 15 minutes we've got the CPI figures starting to be trickled out. Starting with France, then on to Germany, and then we've got the pound at 9:30. So the main one is German, which is the one that affects the euro the most because it's the largest economy in Europe. What happens in France tends to be a precursor for what happens in Germany. So if we get positive movement and results off of the French, likelihood is Germany will go the same way and we'll get a pump on the euro. Hence being a bit cautious and getting out of that Euro New Zealand this morning because we've got a lot of news coming. But these are only PMIs. They do affect the currency, but they're not something that's going to suddenly make the euro powerful. Yeah, it's not going to happen. We might get a pump on it, and it's due on. So, and pound PMIs as well. So, and then this afternoon we've got the US dollar. So lots of PMI news today. So we should see some good movement across the board, hopefully today. Hopefully might get some ADR hits. Hopefully in the directions I want to get in, but we will see. What was your confirmation on that trade? Euro New Zealand. Oil's pushing a little bit. So Euro New Zealand I got in short because we were 4-hour extension and coming up to the 24.72. So that was the first trade. That was second trade. I think I had others in there, didn't I? Here in New Zealand. Or was it just those two? Yeah, it's just those two. So yeah, just normal mean reversion. Bearish overall on euro. New Zealand, medium well done. More long than short. And short on the euro, basically. So just with the euro, regardless of what euro pair it is, apart from euro yen, regardless of what euro pair it is, if it's pumping, I'm looking for opportunities to dump it, because the euro is still stuffed. They're behind on inflation, they're behind on interest rates, they've been tanking for years, nothing's changing, so short. So basically any pops on the euro, I'm shorting them. I've got a feeling the initial entry on this one was an H1 extension. Yeah. H1 extension coming up into resistance. And then obviously second entry was up at those highs. Everything, you know, as I said in Boocamp, everything I do is revolves around the RSI, mean reversion. So mean reversion in line with daily trend. So that's that covered. That's news covered. Quickly look at my Forex funds account. We've got 15 minutes before the news. Yesterday I banked 0.11, which was that one, US dollar Swiss, which was that long there. And of course, as soon as I got out, it just went catatonic. Main reason I got out of it was because I wanted to flip short. As you can see, I'm short now on it. And the reason I've gone short on it is because we are massively extended now on the RSI up at potential resistance. So, of course, as soon as I got out of that trade and flipped short, it went mental and hit ADR. So I should have stayed in that one and got out of there. But, you know, nobody knows that's going to happen. Yeah, got out of that one yesterday. That is it. And scaled into initial short position on US dollar Swiss. So I've now flipped short US dollar Swiss. So this morning, today, I have banked. What have I banked this morning? 0.5%. What did I bank this morning? Oh yeah, pound New Zealand. So pound New Zealand and pound CAD. So got out of that one down there. I've got a few trades on this still, New Zealand. So I've got these all still on. Break even is there. I'm basically sitting on break even. It's the magic break even support line is in play. Look, perfect taps on my support. I still like it short, pound New Zealand. We've got news catalyst for the pound in the PMIs this morning. So hopefully we get negative on the pound and we can dump this. So I took that one off. I took off a pound CAD, which was only taken yesterday. But I took it because it was a little bit of profit in the bank. And I didn't want double exposure on the pound in case the news is positive pound. I didn't want to go into drawdown on both of these. So I've taken that one off just as a precautionary in case it pumps. If it dumps, that's fine. And if it pushes up, I shall get back into it short. Mainly because I like the CAD long now on that news of liquid natural gas exports. I think we might get some powering up starting there. Swiss yen I took off as well this morning just to bank some. That trade is there. So there's on that reversal alert. Ooh, that was a really good drawing. That reversal alert there. Took that one off this morning just because I had profit on it. I've got other positions on that one as well. But I'm just banking basically because I want to get this up to 8% as soon as I can. So, you know, 0.5% a day is really what I'm after. So if I see 0.5% on the table, I'm going to take it. I'll bank some oil today as well. I'm just waiting to see what happens with oil this morning at the open in London. But I'm just going to keep banking these bits and pieces until I get myself up to that 8%, and then I'll see where I am here. And then I will look to do aggressive drawdown control to try and get myself out of this, whatever drawdown is there, quickly. And that's phase one passed. But, going okay at the moment, 4.83%. Got another, I'm hoping to get another 0.5% at oil today. Seems to be going all right at the moment. But yeah, oil, I'm targeting the propulsion gap just before this lovely little Batman here. Just before the support, potentially returning resistance there in that propulsion gap. So I'm just targeting that one there. And then we'll see. We might get an ADR hit today, which is basically, I think that's the monthly high, isn't it? Oh no, that's the monthly high there. Oh yeah, because we've been coming down, haven't we? Of course we have. Yeah, so just targeting that high, basically. Not that one up here, which is ADR. So we might get an ADR hit on it today. They go for that. So that's the My Forex Funds account. Still ticking along. Oil is the main saviour at the moment, but there's nothing in drawdown. Nothing's in 0.5% drawdown yet, particularly bad. US dollar Swiss is the kind of worst thing at the moment, but I need to get myself some exposure on as well, because I'm very underexposed at the moment. I need to get some positions on stuff. So I've only got US dollar, Swiss, Euro, and New Zealand on at the minute, and I've only got single positions. So I'm looking to get into some stuff. Pound US dollar, what's my thoughts on that? Up to you. I'm shorting it, but long right now. Very high probability of a pullback up into resistance, but I'm shorting it, so I'm not taking that. If you want to take it, take it, but be aware of where you're coming to if we collapse. So this level here is 3 ADR away, near enough. So this is the support, which we are either running stops on, and then we will push for a pullback potentially, or we are going to use that as resistance. And if we're going to use that as resistance, you're not turning until you get down there. So if you're happy to get into this now, just be prepared for a 3 ADR push against you before you get an opportunity to get out, which is no problem. You know, if you mean reversion, you're massively extended. It's very high probability pullback. But in summer months, I personally just don't want to sit through 3 ADR. You know, it's going to be a move like this. So you're going to get in short here, for example, and you're going to be doing that, waiting for that to happen. That's going to take potentially a month. I just don't want to sit through that. I'd much rather short it. It's going to come down faster than it's going to go up, I think. They're forecasting inflation in the UK at 18%. We got another 8% to go before they get to their forecast, which I think is probably going to be light. And that's going to be a 50-year high on inflation. And this is way worse than the previous time we went through something like this as a recession. So I can't see it. I can't see the pound powering up anytime soon. So you are keeping UF long on the My Forex Factory EA, or did you change that to a short? So it's changed to a short. So I'm short US dollar Swiss now. Just because it's extended. Yeah, I don't want to be longing it up there. I mean, it might well continue, but I'm not looking for a lot out of it. You know, if we come back into the support rectangle, I might well just take the lot off. I'll see. This My Forex Funds account, and you know, all these prop firms, they're all about playing the odds. Yeah, you've got to get this 8% hit within 30 days without hitting 5% drawdown. It's a game basically, and you have to get in aggressive. You have to get in the hopes that you can grab, you know, 0.5% to 1% each time you get into something, and it doesn't go into drawdown too much to trigger the alarm, really. So you know, I've got it. I'm on a time constraint. You know, this is why these prop firms, most of them are difficult, because you've got to hit it within 30 days. I can't guarantee I'm going to hit anything in 30 days. It's a long time, isn't it? A lot can happen in 30 days to your drawdown. A lot can happen to your target. Which is why it's very hard to position trade them. But I just wanted to do this just to show it can be done as position trading, but it is very much luck. If something happens and the US dollar pumps, I'm going to blow the account. I can't control it. I can't control what the US dollar is going to do. I can manage it, but I can't manage it within a constraint of 5%, because if the market wants to hit me for more than 5%, the market's going to hit me for more than 5%. But odds are in our favor for short rather than long, or for a continuation squeeze and then an escalator shaft. Twice I've said that now. Elevator shaft. And the elevator shaft will obviously get me out, but hopefully it won't squeeze to 5%. Or north. I don't care in my account because I can manage it. I'm only in 0.5%, which is nothing. So if this goes up to 3% drawdown in this account, I'm like, better start doing something about it. If it goes up to 3% in my Forex funds, I'm stuffed. But there's nothing I can do. They let you have a few days or weeks extension if you're in profit. Yeah, you can take an extension. There's no reason why you wouldn't take an extension. I've never needed an extension because I always pass in 10 days, 5 days, because I'm usually scalping my Forex funds, and I just hit target quick. So I've never actually used the extension. I don't know what happens to your open positions when that 30-day magic number kicks in. I don't know whether they close everything and move it over or what. I don't know what happens. So, but I don't plan on being there in 30 days. I'm either going to hit it. What I'm going to do with my Forex funds account is it's either going to keep trickling, as it's been doing very nicely, banking 0.5% to 1% or so a day, and I'm going to hit it within 30 days, or I'm going to get to something like 25 days and I'm going to go, right, I need to get in, and I'm going to go super aggressive, and I'm going to use whatever I've got here as aggressive drawdown control to try and get this gone within the 8%. So I'm either going to blow it within 30 days or I'm going to pass it within 30 days. I'm not going to muck about. That's the plan anyway. But hey, plans are there to be broken. So we'll see what happens. So news, we've got, news is out. Negative euro. Wow, Forex Factory's ahead. Oh no, they're not. They're just not classing it as red news. Yeah, the German one will come out as red. So yeah, negative PMI. So euro, New Zealand is coming down. this isn't where we get the main reaction. The main reaction comes off the German. So we've got that in 15 minutes. It's actually mixed. Manufacturing is as expected and services are down. So difficult to tell what reaction they'll have to that one, but not good. Either way, it's not good for the euro. So therefore, the euro, I think, will probably continue to go down. You lose any profits on the evaluation stage? Well, on the, no, the extension. No, the extension. You don't lose profits on the evaluation stage. You get two choices, and I don't understand what these choices are with my Forex funds. If you get to 30 days, you get two choices. You can either apply for an extension, i.e., it gives another couple of weeks to hit the target, or you can have a reset, where they reset you back to 0, and you start again and try again. What is the point of doing that? If you're in profit and somewhere closer to your target than 0, why on earth would you reset the account? Everybody is going to take the extension, surely. Unless, I suppose, if you're in 1% profit and they give you a 2-week extension, it's probably better to take a reset, isn't it? Because then you get 30 days. But you get the choice, as far as I understand it. But as I said, I've never been in an evaluation where I've been at the end of the evaluation in profit. I either hit it fast or I blow it. So it'll be a new one for me, but I'm not planning on getting there. I'm not going to do it as an experiment. Obviously, this is a 2-stage evaluation as well, so I've got to do this all again. After stage 1. So Euro New Zealand coming down. So euros. Yeah, Euro odd down. Euro CAD up. Interesting. We've got weak CAD this morning. Euro Swiss down. Euro pound not going anywhere. Euro yen not going anywhere. Euro New Zealand. Euro US down. So overall, majority bearish for New Zealand, but that is actually for euro. US dollar is pumping, which is why Euro US dollar is dumping. Euro odds dumping. Mainly because the Australian dollar seems a bit stronger this morning. Pound Swiss is down. Yeah, it's not a lot. Extensions only work if you are up 6%. I thought it was if your account was in profit, from what I understood. Oh, you mean it only works as in, yeah, it's only worth taking an extension if you're close to the target. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. If you were halfway to target, if I was sitting, if they close, if let's say it was right now, today, and they closed all this lot out, stuck this over here, I'm going to be basically 4%. I'm halfway to target. If they give me another 2 weeks, I might as well take it. No, but I don't know. I've got you got 30 days, and I started on the 10th. So basically, it's the 10th of September. So I've got, a good 2 and a bit weeks to go. I'm well on target. If oil can just pump crazy today, that would be lovely. As far as I know, you only get offered the extension when you're 6% in profit. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I haven't looked into it in any detail, as I say, because I've not. I never really anticipated doing something within 30 days. I hate that support system. Okay, that's useful. Is there a search system? Oh, that'd be too obvious. Extension. Oh my God, open a new window? Really? If your phase 1 30-day limit is reached and you are in profit without any breaches on the account, you're entitled to one free extension of up to 30 days or a unlimited free retake. So if you are in profit without any breaches, profit being 1 cent in profit, you can have a 30-day extension, but you can only do that once. Or you can say, I would like a reset back to square one, please. And you can do that as many times as you like. But if you take the extension of 30 days, you can only do that once. So basically they're saying you got 60 days to hit target. If you don't do it in 60 days, that's it. You have to buy another one from scratch. Extension is only offered to users who are in profit and trade using proper risk practices. Users who do not breach, however, do not have consistency or risk practices in their trading and are entitled for a free retake. So they will judge whether or not you're using proper risk. Again, all in their control. They can look at your account and go, nah, don't like the way you're trading. Why? Just don't like it. You know. Do you think they're going to like the way that I'm trading? So I need to hit it tonight, basically. I've got a stop on every single position. Every single position I'm in has got a stop on it. So they can't say I'm not using stops. I've got stops. If you look at my risk reward, yeah, my risk reward is 1-to-1. Yeah. I'm not taking it. If it gets down to there, I'm out. I'm taking money. They're probably not going to like that because my risk reward is probably not going to look good on paper, but who gives a monkeys? It's not about having a good risk reward. It's about having money in the bank. They don't like that though because it's frowned upon. It's frowned upon making money in Forex. Got to do it the way everybody else says because that's what makes the brokers commissions. Right. Okay, let's have a look at where we are today. So we've got 6 minutes until German news. ADRs, nothing today so far. Nothing's hit this week yet. So no weeklies so far. We haven't really got anything getting close, I don't think, at the moment. We had some ADR hits yesterday, but nothing got really massively extended. I didn't see what the end result ADRs were, but I think there were only 125s yesterday, the ones that hit. So nothing big. Monthlies, obviously, we are on the 23rd of the month. We've got this. These are all the same basically as we had previously. Some of them have just hit their monthly ranges 100%. Again, with these, you know, 125s to 150s is where I'm really interested. This to me is just like an RSI 68 or something hitting it. It's, yeah, I can see it's extended, but I want to see stuff really extended. So these hit much earlier on in the week, in the month. So we've already kind of looked at those, so I'm not really that interested in them at the minute. Hourlies, we've got a few extensions, and 4 hourlies, we've got quite a lot. So I'm not going to run through every pair this morning because we did that yesterday. I am looking for more exposure, but I'm looking for the right exposure, and I can't really find anything. I might whiz through all the pairs at the end, actually, and just have a quick look at the 4-hour charts and just see if there's anything really that sticks out. But euros mainly. And obviously this is going to change in 5 minutes because we obviously will have the German numbers out, and that's going to affect this euro in some shape or form. So we will see what happens with them. But the euros obviously are all bearish. and have been forever. Been doing nothing but looking for shorts on the euros for a long time. And when they're extended down here, I think Diamond posted in the Telegram group yesterday when someone was talking about a euro pair, that the danger is when you get an extension on RSI on the 4 hour or the hourly, your pullbacks are very small. If you look at the market structure on this, yeah, it's textbook, absolute textbook, yeah. Support breaks, becomes resistance. Support breaks, becomes resistance. Support breaks, becomes resistance. Support breaks, becomes resistance. When you've got something that is trending strong and you take a mean reversion, you can't expect to get any more than a resistance hit. Is it worth taking a chance that this is going to mean revert for that reward? No, in my eyes, it's just not worth taking, especially with the Canadian dollar news yesterday of them potentially supplying Europe with gas. That's only going to pump the CAD and drop the euro, because they're going to start paying more for their gas. They're going to start charging more for their gas, and everybody wins. Euro CAD's going to lose big style. So it's not really something I'm interested in mean reverting. There is every possibility at some point this is going to do a proper 50%, 61.8, whatever pullback, a proper profit take on this move. I just don't know when it's going to be, and what I don't want to do is get in. That didn't hit RSI, but let's say it did. I don't want to get in there and just be sitting here adding positions on waiting for it. I'd much rather get in when it's pushing up, because there's going to be a hell of a lot more people wanting to short it. So that pullback, when you get extended to the upside, if you get extended near the upside, is going to be a much faster drop over multiple days. So not really for me. It's only just extended. Euro Swiss, the same thing. Same thing there again. Euro Yen, this one potentially could be a decent long. You are getting much better movements on it because the yen is so weak. So whenever there's any kind of positivity on the euro, there's any transactions going through the euro that bolsters the euro, this is actually going to be able to take advantage against the yen. It's the only thing, as I said, I would be interested in longing from a euro perspective. But I'm not longing the euro, I'm shorting the yen. I'm just looking for an instrument to short the yen with, and euro is one that you could use, but it would be my least favorite because it's the one that is getting killed the most. Again, so again, it's not great, but if you look at it from an hourly, you are extended, and there's a high probability that you're going to get that move. Yeah. So yeah, every possibility this is going to come back up and retest these highs. Equally, it could come down and retest these lows, but it hasn't got far to go, has it? So you get in there, you get in there, you'll get out on the pullback. So this is actually not too bad of an opportunity. I would much rather find another yen pair to long. I'd much rather long the CAD yen or the Swiss yen or the US yen. So out of all the yens, this is my least favorite, and it's not extended enough on the hourly for me to be interested in it. Euro US dollar, same thing. It's a shortest short in the world ever. Don't know if you don't. It's up to you, but not interested. If this thing was at 90, I probably still wouldn't be interested in longing it. Actually, I would, but I'd probably still use a stop because I just don't trust it. So yeah, this is obviously the lovely hammer going in at the moment on the 4 hour chart. 8:30 news has just come out. Missed it. 48. Okay, so manufacturing was better and services was worse. So it's the complete flip what we had on the French, funny enough. So we got positive manufacturing where we had neutral, and the services is still down. That's quite a big hike. That's a bigger hike than last figure. So that might actually be bullish euro. So yeah, this could be the start of your push on these euros, but I'm just not interested in risking it. There is every possibility we could come back up to there, or potentially there. there's every possibility we could come to this. So just look, whenever you're thinking of mean reverting, where is the support that could turn into resistance? It could stop there, it could stop there, it could stop there. I don't know where it's going to stop, but it's the euro. I just don't want to long it. So if you are going to take this long, I would probably look at an ADR max on it. Equally, we could get the support rectangle and bounce out the support rectangle down, you know. So just be careful if you're going to do it. Did you manually place the stops on my Forex funds? No, the EA is doing it. The EA is running on it. So what I've got set up on the my Forex funds account is ADR, stop loss and TP are set to 2. So it's basically 2 ADR. So 1-to-1 risk reward. Obviously, I don't take 1-to-1. I take the money when it's there. But I want to get out on each position. If it gets to about $350 in loss, I want out. Because I can't risk going into drawdown on it because, you know, I've got to start cutting losses at some point on it. But to be fair, it's there for, you know, for show. If 2 of these push against me and I've got 3 positions on, account's blown, isn't it? So, but I'm using the EA's doing it all. Obviously, I use my products, you know. Yeah. Right, so yeah, Euro US dollar. Just had that little bit of news. We'll see what the market makes of that. We just tapped up into resistance potentially. So we'll see if they actually put some money behind the euro this morning. But again, up to you. If you want to take it, take it. I'm just not interested in long in the euro. Same with the pound. Pound US dollar is extended. Again, same thing. Euro and the pound in the same boat. Yeah, that's where it got extended. That's where I wasn't interested in longing it, and I'm still not interested in longing it down here. Yeah, that's potentially the scenario on the Euro US dollar that you could be walking into now. In fact, you're already in it. Embedded. Look, see, it gets embedded. Yeah, because it's massively, massively bearish, and this is where your overall trend is your friend, as they say. Yeah, you do not want to be taking a long trade against that. You do want to be taking shorts when we pull up anywhere near the 24.72 area, because until something happens with the economy and inflation worldwide and gas prices, the euro is going to continue to come down. And so is the pound. So none of those are good opportunities that I can see at the minute, which is why I'm struggling to get exposure on at the moment, because I'm just not spotting anything that's really interesting. 4 hours, we've got a lot more extended on the 4 hours. So again, looking back at the euro odd, we are nicely extended on the 4. This level would be of interest. So we're extended now. If we can get a tap down into that, you've got the high probability there's going to be a load of limit orders sitting there. So that's a little mean reversion trade that you could take. Again, maximum I would look to go long is up to there if you want to take it. You know, look at what happened last time when we got this extended. We got a lovely bounce, and you know, same back here, we got a nice bounce. Here we got a little bounce. So you might get that, you might get that. I don't know. But what I do know is every time this thing pushes up anywhere near the 24, it's collapsing back down again. So that's what I'm interested in. RSI extensions to the upside to short it, because it's got much more chance of continuing that way than it has of suddenly the euro becoming the most powerful currency out there. It's just not going to happen at the moment, is it? So not really interested in that. Euro CAD, same story. Canadian dollar expected to strengthen with oil after the news yesterday that they may well start to export to the European zone. Only going to get stronger. We've broken support. you're coming down to, don't know, chart doesn't go back that far. So you potentially have a 5 ADR drop to 8 ADR drop. If that holds, if that doesn't hold, i.e. we do not come back above this level and hold, get a reversal alert, you got 5 to 8 ADR drop. Not interested at all in that one. It is extended, and yes, you're going to get some kind of pullback. I just don't know where this pullback is going to go to, so I'm just not interested in long in the euro at the minute. If it flies, it flies. It's fine. There's other stuff coming up that I'll be able to get into that I do like the look of. Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss is obviously it's obviously a short and has been a short for a long time. Euro and Swiss are obviously trade partners, close trade partners. So you do get periods of balance, but the Swiss franc is way ahead of the curve with inflation. It's way ahead of the curve with interest rates as of that 0.7 increase, which put it ahead. Since that 0.7 increase, the euro hasn't had a chance. So again, I'm interested in shorts from highs. So if we get up into there, fine, I'll start shorting it. If we get up to a double top, yes, interested. If I get any signals on the 4-hour or the hourly RSI to the upside, I'm in. But I'm not longing it down there. Too risky. Even though it is a little bit more extended. If things are going to get up to the 85s, oh sorry, the 15s, 10s in the euros case, possibly might think about it. But I'd still have to think about it. So if the euro flies long, it's just creating great future shorts. Exactly. That's my view on it. I don't want to be longing something that's collapsing. Yeah, standing. You know, this is the age-old adage of the steam train. Do not stand in front of a moving steam train. It's not going to end well. If it slows down though, jump on board. But don't stand in front of it when it's moving that fast. Catch a falling knife, whichever analogy you want to use, same thing, just don't do it. It's going to hurt. It might work, yeah, you got a chance. There's always a chance. There's a 50-50 shot. Every time you hit that button, there's a 50-50 shot. You're right. How right you're going to be, though, is dependent on how strong the opposite direction is. If you've got something that's moving sideways or moving down like that, yeah, you've got a much better chance of getting a decent move. Something that's coming down at that angle, yeah, the chances of you getting a pullback to the 24 at the moment are slim, aren't they? At some point it's going to, yeah, everything's going to come to an end. I just don't want to try and time the end. Timing is impossible in the market. That's what you're trying to do. Everybody's trying to time their entries, and the entries are not something that can be timed. You can't time the market. The market does what the market does. You need to get on board and get out and extract what you get, what it gives you, and you can't do that if you're trying to constantly pick the bottom. Euro US, same story. We've looked at this one already. We are massively extended on this, and I like it a lot down here. I love extensions. 15s and 10s I love, because when you get down to these levels, the market can rarely sustain it. You just run out of sellers. There are too many people wanting to exit positions that have started their positions up here, and there are too many people looking at this thinking this is cheap, and they want to buy it. So it just happens. But the amount it happens, if you look at here, when we got down to here before, that's all you got. Yeah. This one here, you had to sit through quite a bit. That wasn't quite as extended, but when it got extended below the 20, which was there, you got a little bit of a kickback, and then you had to put another couple of legs in before you got out. Yeah. So there is a very high probability on this that you're going to get pullback starting. There is also a probability of another couple of legs. What I'm worried about, the reason I don't take these when you're against a trend like that is because when you get extended, this is the same with ADR. When you get extended, it doesn't mean it's going back. When something hits ADR, it doesn't mean it's doing that. It means it's hit its average daily range. There's every opportunity for it to accumulate and then push the next day. Just because it's extended on the RSI doesn't mean it's going to ping back. It could easily accumulate. The RSI could have come back up and reset itself, and then it dropped. And you end up with this bouncing off the bottom of the RSI while you're going down. Yeah, so this is not the holy grail. This is a condition indicator that tells you a condition. Yes, it brings it to my attention. Do I want to short it? No, not at the moment. There is a high probability of it working, but same as all these other euros, if you take it, don't get greedy. You're just about to get in on the M15 reverse alert. This is news related. Yeah, just because we've had positive PMI figures does not mean that the Eurozone is now out of its recession. This is the market going, hey, everybody, look. And everyone's going to go, oh, lovely. I'll put my liquidity down there. And then what do you think the market's going to do? How far is this going to go? How many people are they going to entice long before they come and take them out? Don't know. Could be there, could be there, could be there. Could do, if today we get an ADR hit to the upside, 125 to 150, I'm hitting the short button. And if I need to sit in it like that, that's fine, because I've got conviction in going short on the euro. I haven't got conviction in going long. So, yeah, fill your boots. Push as hard as you can today, euro, please, because I'd love to get in short on you, but not long in it. So euro US dollar, very, very nice extended. If it was to the other side, I'd already be in it. But no. Pound CAD. Same thing. We've looked at the pound CAD. You've got a long drop on this. That's near as, damn it, 8 ADR. Oh, hang on, that's an old level. Sorry. You got 5-ish ADR to the downside. So we've broken support. Oops. Accumulated around it and broken it. So they are either liquidity running ready for a pullback, in which case then I'm in short, or they're just going to accumulate around this level and continue to drop it. If they're going to continue to drop it, there's nowhere, it's free space all the way down to there. So again, be prepared. If you're going to get into this long and you like it as a long, take it by all means, but be prepared to space your positions out 1 ADR apart, because you're going to need 5 of them potentially. If you go half an ADR apart, you're going to need 10 entries before you get down there. Do you want to be in 10 shorts, 10 longs on the pound when the Canadian dollar is potentially powering up and the pound is collapsing? You know, just use your head with it really. But every opportunity of this could pump as well. We've got the pound figures coming out at 9:30. Again, pound figures could come out positive. We could get a nice pump on it, but the pumps on these are going to be temporary. I'd much rather get in on something that's got much more long-term opportunity to go short. So that's pound CAD. That's only just extended on the 4-hour as well. As you know, I like a little bit more extension. Pound US dollar. So this is a tricky one. I was looking at this, and now I'm looking at it with a little bit more interest. The pound is weak, not quite as weak as the euro. The US dollar is kind of neutral. So there is an opportunity for a long here. We've just had 15-minute reversal alert. This will react off the euro news as well. Close trading partners. This level is what scares me on this one. You know, as I said, when we looked at it on the hourly, that's the distance we've got to go. If this is wrong, if it's right, the reason I like this one more is because since this propulsion gap started here, we've had nothing but selling. We've had one candle there with a tiny accumulation where we didn't drop, and now we're not dropping, and we've just done a big old stop run of yesterday's lows here. So this is 43 pips. So you remember I say on the 4-hour chart you're looking for roughly half an ADR for a liquidity run. 60 pips. They've done 40 odd, which is near as damn it. So this could well be a liquidity run of 4-hour. 4-hour stops do not go underneath the candle. 4-hour stops are positioned much further apart. They're institutional level positions, and they are looking for longer term moves. So and we'll also get people buying up down here that are looking for a double bottom bounce. So this doesn't look too bad. It's got a lot further to run, which is why I like it. We've got a good 2 ADR potential upside on this to there. It could get stuck here. That's the fly in the ointment. So this is, I like this a little bit more than I like the euro. Just because the weakness we've got in the US dollar, the pound has an opportunity to push, but we've just had news, doom and gloom, coming out about 18% inflation this morning on the cards over the next 6 to 8 months, which the market shouldn't really like. So if we get negative figures on PMIs this morning, we're going to get a tank. You know, and if you get into this now, you've potentially got a big drop ahead of you. So it's just not quite right. It's the better of the two that are very nicely extended, the euro and the pound. Even though that is more extended, I prefer that from a fundamental perspective. But it's up to you whether you take it. You've just had the reversal alert. There is a very good probability we're going to get positive PMI figures this morning, which is going to give you a good ADR hit. If it doesn't, I couldn't tell you when we're going to stop going down. So just not for me. As much as I really want to hit the button on that, we're extended on the daily as well. You know, a good couple of days pullback, but equally, if you don't get out of that, you've got a week or so potentially of just going further down, and that is where you're going to hit that other level. So it's risky, very risky. I'd much rather be flat than in drawdown on that. So your choice on it. It looks good. Technically, it looks good. It's at a nice level. It's got lots going for it, but also it's got a big warning sign on the back end of it. Do not overtake. US dollar CAD, 4-hour extended to the upside. I was in this long. Was I in this long or was I in this short? God, I can't remember. Where was I? US dollar CAD. Short, long, yeah. So yeah, I'm out. Obviously, with my longs. I'm neutral on this. I'm more bullish now on the Canadian dollar. And this is where I was looking for it to get to. If you remember, I said, you know, if we get up to here and we're still extended on the 4-hour, I'm interested in shorting it. We've had a bit of strength coming through on the CAD, which has pulled this back. But we have got the PMIs for the US this afternoon. So if the US PMIs can take it up to here, I'm interested in shorting because we've only got a 1 ADR area to work in before we hit this potential limit order area at the top and the stops up there. So if we can get up into this propulsion gap this afternoon, I'm just going to set a little alert on that. If we can get up into here this afternoon, I'm interested in shorting this. It may well go from here, but I'd much rather that than just short it here. I've missed this short entry this morning. It's already gone. So it could well, you could take the retest on it, and it could well just go from here. There's lots of targets to the downside to come and sort out as well. So it does look good. I'd rather see it hit this zone here and get an ADR to get in, because by then we are very extended and embedded a little bit more, which is, you know, that sort of movement is potentially on the cards, isn't it? We'll get a profit take, but so US dollar CAD is looking good. You could take it this morning. The M15 reversal alert, if it retests, potentially is a nice little short, but I'd much rather see it long. So this afternoon, when the PMIs come out after the New York Open, if they can take it up to ADR today, I might be interested in shorting that. US dollar Swiss, I'm already in short. So US dollar Swiss was already extended. The reason I'm shorting this one was because of this level here. Put it where you like, but you can see what it is. So it's a nice potential. We've got a double top, yeah, which has been respected multiple times, which was a previous support. We tapped into it and have pulled back. So I took the 72. The initial entry was when we got up to the 72, and I said I'll scale in quite happily up to there. We should find some sellers kicking in there, which seems at the moment to be happening. We're just in an accumulation. So again, it's going to be dependent on what happens this afternoon. If we get negative figures on the US, obviously this is going to come down. We've just had positive figures on the euro. The Swiss and the euro will move in tandem. So there's good opportunity for the Swiss franc. If the euro pushes up to ADR today, the Swiss franc should be able to hold the US dollar down. So if we get positive, negative news on the US this afternoon, this one's just going to hit TP. If not, we're going to be moving up into this area of balance and potentially up into this propulsion gap. So I would need to scale in again up to there. But by then we will be extended and embedded for quite a long time on the 4 hour. Yeah, and then we'll start to get some profit take moves, and I'll get out when we get up to there. So yeah, so that looks really good. Oops, place, double top. So yeah, I like the look of the US dollar Swiss, already in that one short. US dollar yen, extended to the upside. I still am really reluctant to take any yen trades. I want to be long the yen. So I want to be out of the RSI lows on it, not the highs. We're just hitting this double top at the moment. So we'll see what the PMIs do this afternoon, but it's all, you know, it's still neutral to negative coming out of the yen. You know, everything we get coming out of Japan is quite negative most of the time. We're not getting anything positive coming out. So the market is not, you get the odd spike, but it's bullish. Everything is bullish against the yen. So I'm more bullish. So I'm just waiting basically to see something alert to me, either on the hourly or the 4 hourly, to the downside on RSI, and then I'll start to get into position long on something. But I'm not really interested up here. We got the gap, which has just filled, but they are still pushing up against it. So there's still buyers in the market. You can see we're kind of hovering in the upper region of the RSI. So there's a lot of strength. Up here is potentially where we're coming to, somewhere up there, 150 ADR, 125 ADR level. So if we get up to there, yes, I might be interested in a short on it, because we will be very extended on the RSI and embedded on the RSI, and we will get some kind of profit take move. Yeah, but really not that interested in going above this level. If we break that level, I don't know where we're going to go. Could go anywhere from there. So so that one not as nice, US dollar yen. But again, mean reversion, every opportunity for that one to pull back down into previous resistance. You got propulsion gap there as well as a target. So that's the trade if you want to short it. You know, you've got a good 170, just over an ADR move to the downside potentially on it, if it is going to go. That's the question, isn't it? It's always the question, is it going to go? Don't know. But I like it as a short, just not enough. And I've got obviously one US dollar short on with the US dollar Swiss, and I'm looking at other US dollar short. I'd much rather get in probably US dollar CAD short. As I said, that to me is a nicer short than the US dollar yen, based on CAD strength. But that is based on oil. So let's have a look at oil. We've got a new high just been put in on oil today, which the old limit orders have triggered on. So hopefully we're just going to get that breakout and we're going to run this morning after this V-shaped recovery. V-shaped recoveries tend to be the precursor to a continuation move. So hopefully we'll get that on oil. Obviously, there is every possibility we could pull back today. So, I've got 3 positions in profit on it. I'm holding them in the hope that we do get this high broken. At the moment, we're just sort of rejecting it a little bit. So, initial target on this is prior to resistance. I've got a secondary target up at these highs. So some of these positions will be coming off up here. Then I've got these 2 positions on here, which are my runners. And sky's the limit on this. We've been very much in a downtrend on this, and the fundamentals suggest that this is where we should be running from, this pre-Ukraine level. Supply and demand is still in the same situation. We've still got issues with supply. We've got lots of demand. We've got low barrel stocks. Everything is bullish from a fundamental perspective. It's just like a spluttering engine at the moment. It's really struggling to kickstart. But like we've been saying, every time it kickstarts, it struggles to kickstart. It's fine. I will keep taking my longs off and profiting on these longs. As long as it keeps dropping, I will keep buying it. And I'll keep making money out of it. And if it starts to put in another new low down here, the next push, I will start to do drawdown control. But at the moment, it's not showing me any signs. Since we've got down to this low, it's not really showing me any reason to stop long in it. We just did a liquidity run. So I'm looking for longs on oil. Just because of this level, the 85 is oil is a very psychological thing, because it's a tangible product. It's got a physical product attached to it. It's this is not just a price. This is $91 per barrel of oil. Yeah, so there's a tangible element to oil where people see it as a tangible product. You get more crowd mentality on it. People are like, well, I don't want to pay less than 85 a barrel. They're talking 85 a barrel. Yeah. That's the way it tends to work. They will take it from X per barrel to Y per barrel. They manipulate the price by supply and demand. This is why OPEC keeps meeting up and slapping the Saudis on the back of the wrist, saying, oi, you need to pump out more oil. You need to put more barrels out there because the country needs it. And then they will do what they want. So they've got targets to hit. And the number of barrels in circulation is basically what affects the price. We get that figure every Wednesday. So this Wednesday, if we have negative barrel numbers again, we should get another pop, which is exactly what we had last week. We got that lovely pop off the barrels. And obviously, we'll see what happens with it. But this is kind of where I see it stalling out. We've got this level down here, potentially, somewhere in this region. Which is, this is the 85, where we could come down and sort of sit and play around. This is where we bounce off the 85, so actually 86, but close enough. But yeah, that's why I like it, so I'm staying with it as a long. DAX, I'm out of at the moment. So I took my last DAX off yesterday. The EA is still running on the DAX, I believe. So I'm just seeing what else I've got on. Euro New Zealand, yeah. So yeah, I've still got the EA running on the DAX. So I will be getting in on the next drop on the DAX. So that's all still running. So I'll be shorting the DAX. Next possible opportunity. We've got the gap fill on the DAX up here. We didn't quite get that done. Question mark over that one. We did push up into this low. With these gap fills, different people have different views on it, and I'm the jury's out for me. I'm undecided because I've seen both happening many times. The low of the previous day, if the market closes close to the low of the day, in this case here, some people think that's a gap fill, and it quite possibly is. It pushes up to there, giving the opportunity for some of the banks and institutions to take small losses on unfinished business, which is fine. Some people like it completely closed, which is the ideal. So this one, we're nowhere near it. We've got a big gap. This one, jury's out as to whether or not that did it or not. But even so, we've got this gap fill to do. It could be a case if we get a continuation push down and this becomes an orphaned one. We never get back there. That happens. It all depends on whether or not we are starting this next leg. So remember I said what I'm looking for is an accumulation drop similar to this. The accumulation we got up the gap fill here. We pushed and then we had that initial drop and we've done a lovely big drop. So what I'm looking for is pullbacks within these candles. Yeah. So that high there, I want to see inside bars before the next leg down. Or I want to see a complete collapse. So I'm just looking to short it either way. So I'm going to get in with a short on a pullback there. If it pushes up, then I will scale in and assume that we're going to stay on an inside bar. But overall, obviously, indices are still short. They're still calling it short. You know, we're not going up. We're creating a wedge. Wedges break to the downside. Normally, not always, obviously. But, so yeah, like the DAX short still. So today we've obviously got potentially that and that. That's going to be a hell of a move. I mean, you can see we're approaching ADR already today. So you know this is a 2 to 3 ADR push to the upside. We're going to need to do to get back up to these gaps. But I'm going to be remaining short bias on it. Same with the other indices, the Nasdaq and the S&P. We've started that rollover on the daily very nicely. We came off of support, so looking basically for inside bars to hold and then continuation drops. So any kind of pushes to the upside, to get any RSI extensions to the upside on the lower time frames, I'll be looking. Oh, I would. I'm just trading the DAX. I'm not trading the US indices from a position trading perspective. I am trading the DAX, so I'll be looking to get in short on the DAX. Every reversal alert we get, and I've got it running on M5, so I'll be getting in there. If it drops, if it continues going, obviously I shall just carry on going. Sorry, that's the wrong one, but same thing. It's all the same stuff. Everything looks the same on the indices. Just really pick one of them and trade it. So yeah, all of these looking for the next leg down to start. Yeah, I mean, we are coming down. The trend line works beautifully on the S&P there. So either that or just that, one or the other. So nice extension on the RSI. So like those short. Somebody though, Bitcoin coming down, I'd imagine, yeah. So Bitcoin managed to come up and test the 72, didn't get anywhere near resistance. And started to come down. So, you know, this is linked to the indices now, Bitcoin. So if the indices are dropping, this tends to go with it. You can see that the recovery on this compared to the recovery on the indices is massively different. Bitcoin is really, really, really struggling to find investors at the minute. Too many people made too much money and then lost the lot, and then lost even more trying to buy the thing up, trying to pick the low. You know, we're coming back down to these old levels, pre-COVID levels on everything. So not looking good. And gold. There's a lot of talk at the moment of a gold collapse. It's struggling, gold. I can't remember what it was I saw yesterday. There's something in here I saw yesterday, which was a link to an article about gold. And there's talk of new lows coming on gold, like back down to here, which is going back to 2017. We pumped out just a year before COVID. We started in 2019. We started pumping out on gold, and it's really got stuck sideways at the moment. And there's a lot of talk of it collapsing, basically. Again, I don't really trade it, so I don't keep my finger on the pulse with it. But it is a US dollar cross, so any strength on the US dollar is going to push this down. But gold does move on its own as well. As stocks of gold are bought and sold. Gold is still a massive commodity that is transacted. It's a physical commodity. There are massive vaults with massive bars of gold sitting in them, mainly held by Russia. And as Russia has the majority control on gold, obviously, and there is an export ban on gold, you can't buy it. To me, that would push the price of gold up, but it's not, because you can't get it. So I think it's just less of it being used. The problem we have with gold is used in the manufacturing of chips, technology, cars, lots of stuff. It's used as a manufacturing tool, as well as a nice thing to make jewelry out of. So it's a difficult one to call, but you can see we're obviously in a downtrend at the moment. So I would be saying you want to be shorting it from any highs, but it's difficult. Again, I think it's possibly going to turn into a little bit like the euro, where it's going to be quite difficult to get into it if it starts to come down that fast. So, but the Ukraine war is going to end at some point. Sanctions are going to be lifted on Russia at some point. To what extent and when, don't know. So, difficult. Hey Lee, have you ever thought of adding positions when you're in profit? Yeah, I do. Not as much. When I'm scalping, I do a lot. When I'm scalping, I'm adding to positions a lot. And you will see me adding to positions. If things like oil, I will add into oil when it's in profit. I'll quite happily put buy stop up there, because if it breaks that level, I'm expecting a push. So yeah, I'll add to that. I'm in profit, but there's no real need, is there, for me to do that? If I take a trade and it starts to work, I'm more interested in taking that profit than maximizing it. Because if you add, and you'll see this, if you use the Price Action Toolkit, and you take a short, let's say we take a short under that low. Yeah, so if we take a short under that low, if I hit that button again and say, right, I'm going to add to that position. So let's say this comes down and it starts working. I'm going to add to it when we break this low here. That's great, but my average is now there. As soon as it gets back to there, you're crapping yourself, because you're thinking, oh, I'm back to break even on it. I'd rather be more comfortable and be in profit when we get back to here than be in break even. And when this goes into drawdown, don't forget, it's going to go into drawdown twice as fast. So you've got to be pretty confident to add into your positions. Scalping is not too much of a problem because it happens fast. I'm out here. So I'm going to add one there, I'm going to add one there, and I'm out there. When I'm position trading, I'm trading off a 4-hour chart. A lot can happen in the 4-hour chart. It takes a long time. So, but yeah, you can add. Sammy, hello. I missed everything. Good one. Watch the replay. Swiss yen. legit jumped off my TP. Are you short this? You've just posted an M15 chart in the Telegram group, but you haven't said what it is. I'm assuming that's Swiss yen. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so your entries are there and there. And your TP is there. Right, so in this situation, what I do in this situation, if I'm in your averages here, yeah, what I would do right now, this position, I would put a trailing stop on it of 20 pips, yeah, and I would get rid of my TPs. So where your TPs are here, I would cancel those off, remove those TPs, and put a trading stop on both of these positions now. One of two things is going to happen. Either it's never going to hit your TP and it's going to put in a W reversal, in which case then you want to get out of this position and take some profit. The other thing that's going to happen is this thing is going to collapse. Yeah, so trail those stops while that collapse happens. My best trades that I've had in the last couple of months have been to just stick a trading stop on something and it just goes vroom, vroom, vroom. Hits ADR. If it hits ADR, I take it. But that's the best thing to do. You've got a profitable position. So oil, for example, yeah? For me, right now is the only thing I've got that I can demonstrate it with. If I stick a trailer on this now of 50 on that position and that position, yeah, the TPs on these are here, right? If oil now does one of these where it just goes whoop, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let these go with it. And if it then goes and does another one, my trading stops are going to take me out and I'm going to make way more money on those trading stops. Better way to do it. And, you know, so I'm going to do it with these ones. We'll see what happens. So I'll get rid of these TPs. So those TPs were on that position and that position. So I'll let those run. Yeah. It's either going to come down and I'm going to bank about $160. So I'm going to get another 0.4% going there. And it's going to give me the opportunity to do what? If it takes me out and pushes down to here, it gives me the opportunity to add these positions back on again. So the next time it pushes, I can make even more money from it. Yeah. Or it's going to run and I'm going to make something like 0.7% profit. I can't lose, can I? But when you get to a point where you're getting close to your TP, yeah, remove your TP and stick a tightish trailer on it. You'll be amazed how many times it flies. Because what we do with TPs is what? We put them near support and resistance. So the TPs that I had in place there were here, right, just before that. Either it's going to do that and that, or it's going to do that and that. Yeah. So why take your TP there? Why not let it, for the sake of 20 pips, which is going to, I might lose $40 more than I would have made if it had hit my TP. But what's the upside potential? The upside potential is for Canada to say, we've just agreed that we are now able to export liquid gas to Europe. We will be charging the same price as Russia used to charge Europe. What do you think the CAD's going to do? It's going to go mental. What do you think oil's going to do? It's going to go mental. I want to be on the right side of that with the trading stop. Let your winners run. That's the best way to do it. If you're unsure, if you get to a situation where you're like, oh, shall I take it? Shall I take it? Don't take it. get rid of the TP and stick a trailer on it. Let the market decide whether you should take it or not. The market is either going to say, yeah, you were right, you should have taken it, or the market's going to go, you should have let me run it. Don't make that decision yourself, let them do it. We don't know whether they're going to do that or that today. Haven't got a clue. If they do that, I'm going to milk it. If they do that, I'm going to put some profit in the bank and add it back on again. Trading stops are underrated. But again, I don't put trading stops on my trades as standard because remember market structure. Market structure does that. Yeah. So if you have a trading stop, you are always going to get taken out at some point because the market is always going to do that. If you got into a long on a break of that high with a stop under that low, yeah, that wouldn't have got you out. If you'd have had a trading stop on it when it hit X pips in profit, break even, trading stop, you've been taken out of that trade and then it's gone up and made you a profit. Yeah, trading stops are the worst thing in the world, but they have a use for things like this. I've got a load of money in the bank. It's getting close to my TP. Use it that way. That's how I use them. And you see a lot of my trades in here, look. Yeah, these are not stop losses. These are trailing. All of these are trading stops. Yeah, all trailers. Yeah, some of these are drawdown control as well, but you know, they're tradings that are being used to let the market make my decisions for me. Because, as I say, I don't know what it's going to do. I haven't got a clue, but there you go. 15 pip trailer, yeah, or whatever. Make it relative. The way I use trailers is look at the chart. Okay, so it's pushing up now. Let's say if it closes below there, I want to be out. Right, so my trading stop is going to be 40 in this case. The tighter you make it, obviously, the more chance you've got of getting taken out. But equally, you want to lock in profit. Yeah, so worst case scenario now on one of these trades, I'm going to make $100. The worst thing that can happen is I'm going to make $100. The best thing that can happen is this thing goes to the moon and hits ADR. Good example of it actually is what was that? DAX, wasn't it? Last week. Remember these aggressive drawdown control positions I had on the DAX? Yeah, these had trailers put on them. These ones here, yeah? Remember this move last week? Yeah. I got these aggressive drawdown control positions on and I put a trailer on them. I was targeting these, you can see this, I was targeting these lows initially. And I was targeting here initially and it came down and hit the target. But as we got down to these lows, I applied a trading stop because one or two things was going to happen. It was either going to bounce off these lows or it was going to cascade down. I didn't know how far it was going to go. I wasn't expecting it to go anywhere near this far, obviously, otherwise I would have held it. Came straight down and hit my TP, unfortunately. But you can see the trading stops when they get applied. They get applied here. So instead of taking profit here, I got extra down to here. So that on a aggressive drawdown control position is a couple of $100. But you've got to do it based on, you know, what the current movement is, what the ADR is at the moment. You just need to look at how far. There's no point in putting a 5 pip trailer on something that moves 300 pips a day. It's going to get taken out immediately, isn't it? 5%, 10% of the ADR is a good sort of gauge, really. But you know, play it by ear. You know, and if this moves up, then brilliant. If it doesn't, not a problem. Themba, sorry, just to help analyze NAS 100. It seems to me it's attempting to go up. Yeah, it is at the moment. So it's pulling back at the moment. we've got a gap fill to do on the NAS. Same as we have on the DAX and all the other indices. There's a gap fill that was left from the weekend rollover, which is about 150 ADR. So yeah, I'll be looking to short it somewhere. Same as I'm with the DAX. Yeah, I'm just waiting to get in short. Look at the indices on the daily chart. Yeah, when they go, they go. Yeah, big fast drops. If this is going to be a big fast drop, we're coming easily down to somewhere like that within this week. To do that, it's got to not muck about. It's going to do tiny pullbacks and it's going to collapse. Tiny pullbacks and collapse. Look at the wicks on these drops. Yeah. So this day, we opened up there. That's the pullback. Collapse. We opened up there. That's the pullback. Collapse. We opened up there. We didn't pull back. We just collapsed. We opened up there. That's the pullback. Collapse. Opened there. Didn't even touch a pullback. Collapse. Yeah. Look at these tiny little wicks when we get these big drops starting. Look at where we are now. Yeah. Yesterday's was that's yesterday's. Yeah. Look at today. We opened here, we've pushed down a little bit. This is the push up. So this could be it. This could be it. And then we're just going to put in a massive red candle today. So when you're looking at lower time frames, that's the pullback. Yeah, look at where the open was here, right? And then think about a daily candle that looks like that. It's not going to go much further than that, is it, before we paint that candle? It's a really bad painting, but yeah. That could be your wick, in which case we want to be getting short now, don't we? Just as we push up a little bit. If it's going to be a down day. Again, I don't know if it's going to be a down day or an update today. But if it's going to be an update today, no problem. I'm in there. I'll get in again. And I'll wait for it to come back down again. But just because it's had a big collapse doesn't mean it's going to have a big pullback, as we know. We could just sit here and accumulate and have a pause day, a spinning top, or a doji, and then start the next day down. US dollar Swiss, yeah, US dollar Swiss I'm short at the moment. I got out my longs, and then it flew, and I flipped short because we're extended on the 4 hour and embedded. So I'm looking for this level here to hold. Yeah, so I'm looking for resistance here, which we've had so far. Swiss franc, let's see what the euro's up to. Yeah, so the euro hasn't got a pop off of that news at all. It's coming down again. So the Swiss franc, you can see that the euro, look at all the euros, yeah? It tells you what's going on in the market. Euro odd is down, euro CAD is down, euro pound is neutral, euro yen neutral. Euro New Zealand down, Euro US dollar neutral. Euro Swiss up. What does that tell you? We've got a weak Swiss franc this morning. So when you look at US dollar Swiss, the reason this is pushing up is not the US dollar, it's because we've got a weak Swiss franc. This afternoon, we've got US dollar news, which could power up the US dollar or dump the US dollar. But at the moment, the Swissy is weak. That's why we're getting this pop. But we're only coming up to challenge these highs. Yeah, so we've got potential liquidity run at yesterday's high, just about to happen. So if we get some pending orders triggered up here, and then we break these lows, we've got run to the downside potentially. My average is miles within an ADR at the moment, so it's just not worried about it at all. As far as I'm concerned at the moment, this one is just extended on the RSI and ready for a pullback. It's whether or not it's going to do it here. If it doesn't do it here, we're probably looking at 150 ADR and coming up into this propulsion gap somewhere. So we'll need a couple more positions on it. But US dollar Swiss is one of those pairs which does squeeze. I've been caught in the US dollar Swiss squeezes many times before, unpleasantly. So hopefully it's not one of those. Getting wrapped up to go home. You're still at work? Don't mind entering it because of my trading stop on the Swiss yen. We've got an ADR on CAD Swiss. There you go. So that shows you how weak that Swissy is. ADR's hit already on the CAD Swiss. So strong CAD. Strong CAD is based off of strong oil. Swiss franc is weak. Therefore, we get an ADR hit to the upside. Not looking to take that because I'm bullish CAD. So not extended. But anyway, I'm the other way on it. I want CAD longs. So yeah, there's nothing else I'm looking at today at the moment still. I've got the Euro New Zealand short, I've got the CAD's US dollar Swiss short on, and I've got my oil longs on. So I've pretty much banked target today. I'm only 0.8% away from target this week. So yeah, I'm not looking to get in anything really at the moment apart from the US dollar CAD. That's the only thing I'm interested in, and I'm interested in that if we get a push up into around about ADR and into that propulsion gap today, I'll be looking for a short out of that. But the way the Canadian dollar's going at the moment, not likely unless we get a pump on the news. Shalk, do you have the average level indicator? Yeah, it's called ME break even. ME break even line. It's in the file section in the Telegram group. And I think it's also on the website. So you can go and get that from the website. Or it's in any break even. Let's just search for break even in the file section in the Telegram group. You'll find it. If we get M15 breakout on US dollar Swiss, I'm taking it. Yeah, I mean, I'm already in short. These are a little close together, actually. One of these is a manual, two of them with the EA. So I'm a little bit close. I'm 23 pips on a 36 ADR. 26. So I'm a little close on these. But my next entry will be on M5. If we get an ADR hit today on it, I'll be getting another one up at ADR. Right, so that's it for today. So looking to bank some oil. Well, I'm going to bank some oil. Whatever happens with oil, I'm banking something. So I will hit target today on oil with using oil. Be keeping an eye on the drawdown on this one. This US dollar Swiss is going to be my main issue, which I'm going to need to deal with here. But I'm going to wait. If this gets to 1%, then I will start potentially looking at some drawdown control. Aussie Swiss is running away a little bit as well. Swiss franc this morning. Obviously, we've got a weak Swiss franc, so everything's pushing against the Swissy. But the Aussie Swiss, I mean, you look at this. This is beautiful market structure on this. It's just lovely. Goes up and down all the time. So this is coming down at some point. I just need to make sure I get another position on it, which I will there. or an ADR, just about. Needs to be a really tight reversal alert if that one triggers to get me into that, because I'm targeting quarter ADR, which is 16 pips, not half an ADR, which is 31. So that is going to be tight. I'm just going to set a manual on this, just in case that triggers. I'm going to keep an eye on this one. Set it there. Because if we get a big down candle now, which is that big, that distance is too short for the A to trigger, which is 16. So I'm going to enter a manual. If it gets to there and triggers a short, I will have my manual on as well. So I'll keep an eye on this. If this triggers 2 positions here, I'll shut. Unless it collapses down to there, in which case I'll stick a break-even trader on it and milk it if I get it. But yeah, Aussie Swiss. So everything's running away on the Swiss franc at the moment. Swiss franc's really weak today. Obviously didn't like the euro news, unfortunately. 8:30, 9:30. We just had the pound one. Sorry, one. Pound. One positive, one negative. Same. So mixed on the pound. No real reaction on the pound. Gap up, drop on the New Zealand. That'd be to do with spread. Oh. Blimey, that's a wick and a half. Look at that, pound CAD. Say liquidity run of the lows on all of these. A lot of them. No real reaction at the moment though, so we just have to wait and see what happens with that today. Right, so that's it for today. As I say, there's not a lot I'm interested in at present. Just can't find anything really that is the right way and getting extended. So I am keeping an eye on the hourlies to see if we get some extensions to the upside on these pounds or these euros today. And I might look at getting in some pound and euro shorts. Apart from that, nothing much else I'm interested in apart from the US dollar CAD. So I'll post in the Telegram group if I get into any of these. They're just not quite there yet. And I don't really have anything Aussie-wise or New Zealand-wise that I'm really interested in. Aussie-Swiss is getting to a point where I might get interested. So again, with these, like things like the Aussie-Swiss, if we get an ADR hit on this today, I'll jump in short. Aussie-New Zealand, I'm looking for longs. All these New Zealands are quite hard to get into at the moment, the Aussies. Yeah, New Zealand Swiss as well. So Aussie Swiss and New Zealand Swiss, if they continue to push, I'm interested in shorting both of these as well. But obviously I'll get an alert on the ADR dash. Those. We'll see what happens. Right, that's it. So anything you need, come in the Telegram group. I will be in there. I'll be back tomorrow morning, same time, 7:50. We'll have a look at how everything's going. Just be aware of PMIs this afternoon on the US dollar. Judging by the movement we've had this morning off of this lot, it's coming out roughly the same or a little bit up, a little bit down. We're probably not going to get a massive movement on it. No news tomorrow to worry about at all. We just got durable goods and pending home sales. New home sales and pending home sales don't do anything. It's building permits which moves the market. So failing that, we've got GDP on Thursday. So after PMIs today, very little news. So just normal market movement, nothing to sit and worry about. So and obviously I will be getting into the DAX short as well, don't forget. So I have also got the DAX I will be shorting. The next reversal alert, I'm in that short as and when that happens. If it keeps pushing, the more it keeps pushing, the better. Keep going. You can pump and pump and pump and pump and get all the way up to that gap fill. Awesome. I should be on it like a shot. All right, so anything you need, come to the Telegram group. I will be back tomorrow morning, 7:50. Hopefully you have a good profitable day, and I will post any trades I take or close in the group. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one.